we've covered way more difficult things. Well, hopefully we can see a screen. We'll see. Are we coming back to us? No, okay. All right, here we go. So we just got Ross's perspective. That's fine. We can work with that. So let's do it. Whisper Squad, your favorite?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know it is. I know it is, bud. Go ahead.
As fun as it is to make fun of, I mean, it does do a lot of very good stuff for the deck.
Yeah.
It pressure, it's up to 7 mana on. You see it's actually going to absorb and eliminate here.
Here's Croxa. Okay, now it looks like we're all set. So technical difficulties solved, which is nice. No more of a problem.
I'm a little surprised here that Ross would go with Croxa rather than just playing his 2 1-mana cards.
Yeah.
It's not like getting the Croxa out ahead of schedule is worth all that much.
See the hand here for Lax. Extinction Event lands, Uro's in the graveyard. It's one of my favorite parts of this deck. You do all this stuff and it's like, all right, I got a little Scorpion. How about that? It's like, wow, seen better. You could do. I mean, I've seen
it still might be worth it from Lax's side to go ahead and Extinction Event this away just to get to the point where he can escape his Uro. You got to cast something to get there.
Yep.
And it might not be that much better than this because if Ross had more to play last turn, he would have played it. If he had a 3-mana card, you probably would have seen that instead of the Scorpion. If he had more 1s, again, you would have probably seen it instead of the Scorpion. So as mopey as it looks, I don't think that Extinction Event's getting much better. And with Lax having an incentive just to get stuff in the graveyard for Uro, you see the worst of Extinction Event of all time.
Here is a Woe Strider. So here we go here. Bring a little goat along with it.
And I'm getting a report, an update that Green Machine up a
game? Oh, you better believe it. Can't beat Sultai. Oh my gosh, my life for an Ari rematch. Are you kidding? Are you kidding me? I'll pin that. I'll screen save that tweet for the rest of my life.
It's time to claim the firstborn.
It'd be a good
draw here.
It'd be a huge draw. One could argue the best draw.
Ross on empty. Ari's hand loaded and ready to run away with this game with Uro. This is kind of the last window. Gutter bones. Now Ross can get a look at it with Castle Lockbane. If he spends his turn doing that and misses, that's the game.
You thinking that's it, bud?
Yeah, with Ari's hand being this loaded. I mean, even if it was just Uro and lands in hand, it would be a lot for Ross to overcome. But with Ari working with the goods,
yeah, it is not Uro and lands. We know that.
No,
not that even a little. And this is why this deck can be so tough. Follow up here for Lax. It'll be Hydroid Grace. It's fun too because Ari wrote about this deck on SCG and basically the intricacies of this all-time mirror and how Casualties plays and Nissa, and I've always found that Ari is at his absolute best when he's really diving into the intricacies of decks and their mirror match, and he understands the turn patterns and everything else. And so to see this result, and Ari's a Pro Tour champion, and it looks like he's probably going to end up being at the game here just due to card quality and everything else. But having read and edited Ari's work for the past 6 or 7 years and teaming with him and knowing him for a long time, this is when he's at his most locked in, is when he's, explaining how turn 6 can play in the mirror and knowing all the intricacies of that. It's like, okay, he's really dialed in. He's played a lot of the matches, so on and so forth. And maybe the pandemic has allowed him to play a little bit more Magic and dive deeper in than he normally would be able to, given his normal working life and everything. Who knows? But the article that he wrote about the intricacies of the Saltine Mirror, I believe it was this week. If not, it was last week. Very, very telling and not surprising to see this result for him. At least it looks like, again, probably up a game in the semifinals here against Ross.
Yeah, I think the Ari's at his best, like you said, when he's expressing things with just a ton of detail, when you can see that the work's been done.
And I will say he's more often than not expressing things with a lot of conviction, because he's very confident in his beliefs a lot of the time, which I, someone who can be hyperbolic at times, certainly do appreciate. But I'm seeing it. I'm when he's confident, he's really tough to beat. He was confident that Pro Tour that he won. That's for darn sure.
Ari's got that much mana. Got that much mana.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, man. Also, for those of you just joining us, Ari Lax is at 25, so there is that. And Ross is at 6, and he's outclassed in just about every way. Card quality, battlefield, all of it. So, here comes Uro, and Krasis, and Land, and Trigger, and everything that you've come to know about Sultai. Nick Miller, if you can hear me, give me some more of those mono green updates, baby. You know what? We can do Nick's job. We're going to give Nick an update on this match. You want to take care of that?
Okay.
Let him know. Let him know where we're at on this one behind the scenes.
Nick.
Yeah.
Ari Lax up a game.
There you go. Let's make sure he does. We don't want him to miss anything. It's important. Ari Lax is up a game. Hey! Uh-oh. The HP single sale's back. Store credit cannot be applied to these items with Patrick Sullivan's cash can. Peace, Ollie. You gonna be digging through again?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be sifting through the trash over the heavily played sale. It's RC Games. A lot of good deals there. Mess up constantly. Most of my money spent with them is on this sale specifically. So go check it out. Remember, store credit cannot be applied to these items, but that doesn't matter because it's just so lucrative. A little bit of work. They're just messing up. Go check it out.
Just taking advantage of mistakes. The Sullivan special, as it were. Oh, I love it. Game number 2 about to be underway here. Merriam's already ready to rock and roll. Well, I actually do wonder how much he's played this matchup. Again, open deckless tournament. So, he'll be working with the appropriate information. Obviously, he's got a pretty good handle on the Sultai Mirror, but how does he know the matchup against Rakdos Sacrifice? And really, how much do you need to know? Because sometimes, like we saw in that first game, sometimes your cards are just better than your opponents, and that takes care of that, right?
As long as you keep your head above water over the first couple turns, or they don't curve out all that well, eventually you can get to the game where it's just like my individual cards versus yours, and once it's there, it's not close. Yeah. It's always going to get the better of that. Burdens on Ross to either be curving out or to present something that just kind of slips through the cracks.
And you've got Serrated Scorpion, and I don't. So that'll take care of that. Gust, Narset, Extinction Event, and Uro is what Lax looks like he's mulliganing into.
And on the other side, going to game 3.
Mm-hmm. You know what that means? It means green's on the play, baby.
On the play.
That's what that means. That's where you want to be. With it all on the line, G on the P.
You win game 1, you pick up game 3 on the play.
You get. I mean, let me tell you.
The beatdown guide to winning matches.
That's right. Let me tell you. You don't just lose game 2. You generally get annihilated.
Yeah,
but that's okay. They wasted their good draw. They wasted their good draw on the play. That's how you got to look at it.
And I do.
That's so why. It's not like I'm making that up. You're gonna beat me on the play. I want you to draw all your Enter the God Eternals. Just draw it all. Oh yeah. Right. Just put me right in the grave.
You cast a growth spiral against me, I won't complain.
Yeah.
That's game 2. Game 3 is different.
Legal for game 2. That's fine.
Legal for game 2. Who cares?
That's fine. Agonizing remorse. Look at all these extinction events. Okay. Here's Woestrider. You got Liliana Standard Bearers, plural, in hand. Card that actually Ross wrote about in his article about Rakdos Sacrifice. It's always fun, for me at least, when I see people, write about the deck that they're playing and then are able to put their money where their mouth is, and put together the finish that they're looking for with the deck that they're confident in. And Ross this past week wrote about Rakdos Sacrifice on SCG Premium and why he didn't like Mayhem Devil, why he liked other options, and now here you see it. He's in the semifinals of this tournament. Yes, he's down a game, but he's put his money where his mouth is and saying, you know what, I don't like Mayhem Devil. I know a lot of people do. I think it's pretty bad in this deck, and here I am without it, doing just fine as he plays a Whisper Squad with the mana available to get another one. As here is Extinction event. Looks like there will be some scrying here in just a moment. So Woestrider's going to let's take a look at a couple of cards. Mountain, you know what? You can leave too. Choose odd. And we'll probably see a Liliana Standard Bearer here in just a moment. I would have to
for Ross.
Yep. Trigger. Draw a couple cards from the Standard Bearer trigger. Kroxa. Village Rites. That's a good turn for Ross to an extinction event. That's what you're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, if Ross wants it, he's got access to the same setup this turn too, where he can play Gutter Bones and just pass. If that's better than casting Kroxa this turn and Gutter Bones and leaving up the Village Rites, remains to be seen. But Ross has a good setup here to be able to kind of grind his way through these extinction events.
Yeah, and I like a Kroxa turn, and I'll say that because you and I can see the hand. So we know that Ari has 3 spells in a land, so he's got to discard a land, which means that he's a turn away from maybe some of his bigger plays, so on and so forth. And now with the trigger on the stack with Kroxa, the escape sacrifice trigger, now you're able to sacrifice that to Village Rites, able to draw 2 cards. There's a Whisper Squad. Now you do know about the extinction event that's in hand, so you don't have to play Whisper Squad if you don't want to. If you play it, you're basically saying, hey, I don't mind you extinction eventing, and then we continue to play Magic. And that's a decision that Ross gets to make, and he says, you know what, I'm good with where we're at. So we're going to see Narset maybe as Fabled Pasha's Wedge the Draw.
And with this setup here, Ross has the ability to just say, okay, you answer this one thing, fine, we play on. And if you don't, the next turn I can play a few things, leave up the Standard Bearer yet again. And then if you decide to pull the trigger on Extinction Event, it's going to be the same sequence. So draw a bunch of cards, gas back up. Kroxa will be ready to go at that point.
Well, Whisper Squads are getting worse now, folks, because that's a card that you'd rather leave in your deck and not draw. And I think this may have been the 4th one here for us. I'm not positive on that, but it's at least 3. So he's been drawing those as opposed to searching them up. Yeah, it looks like 3 now here for Merriam. One more hiding on the deck.
Awaiting the winner of this match.
Oh, talk to me. Talk to me.
Green Machine.
Green Machine!
Green Machine.
Green Machine! Well, Ari, now I want you to win. Nothing personal, Ross. Now I want the rematch. Liliana Standard Bearer.
Keep churning.
You betcha. Playing the firstborn. See where we're going to next.
And this is the Rakdos Sacrifice playbook here, particularly post-board. Just keep using my mana every single turn.
Yep.
Present stuff that's problematic, but not be done in by one sweeper or planeswalker.
Yep, totally agree. Totally agree with you.
Ross has done a great job of threading the needle here of doing enough where Lax is forced to use removal spells without committing so much that a removal spell or a sweeper really matters.
This is like the bob and weave, right? I mean, you see this with aggro decks sometimes, and it's what you have to do when your opponent actually has access to Extinction Event. You got to get a little bit creative. You know they have access to it. We got public deck lists, but even if we didn't, you're probably playing around it. And so, he's doing a nice job, truthfully, of doing a really nice job of bobbing and weaving, pacing the game, and hopefully If you're Ross, Ari plays something that you can claim and then kill him, and then we're going on to game number 3. So I think Ross has played a really, really good game here, whether he wins or loses. I think he's done a nice job of bobbing and weaving and pacing.
Well, on top of that, look at Ari's life total, all the way down to 8. Ross has also gotten some chip shots in along the way, too.
Yep, as opposed to the 26 that Ari ended the last game with. It's a world of difference. How about another extinction event? How's that sound? We might just jam that again. All right. Gonna do it again, eh? Oh, looks good. So there that is. There's the land. Okay. Blood Crypt. Ari has just 1 mana available at the moment. Naturally, I'm asking myself the question of, does Ross have enough cards in the graveyard to get back Kroxa? I think he might be 1 short.
Yeah, I mean, if you could, then the turn's a no-brainer. You wouldn't even be thinking.
Well, I think what's interesting is, I think he needs to do this, right? I think he needs to go claim his creature to get card 5 in the graveyard to bring that back. That's what I thought it was going to be, yeah. So he had to get a little creative on that one, but hey, whatever works, works. And also, Gutterbones is a little hasty.
Yeah, it gets a little bit of damage for the trouble.
So you're going to get 2 in and knock Ari down to 6. Let's add in the discard, knock you down to 3. Ari's got to discard the right card here. He's going to go ahead with the Shark Typhoon as opposed to the Eliminate. Get in for 2 more. Oh, actually, sorry. It's only if it's a land or there's nothing else. So just down to 6. Got a little ahead of myself there. Apologies. This is going to be, it looks like a main phase Cycle of the Triumph, perhaps? For Lax? Yes. New card coming. It's just a forest. So you play that. You eliminate this now, I suppose. I don't know if there's any reason to wait or not, but there's your eliminate. Kroxa down. And now, Soul Guide Lantern the draw?
No reason to wait. And with Village Rights in the deck, you should just be doing it when there's a window.
Very, very, very good point. So good call on that one, partner. Now, if you're Ross, $1 million question is, now what do you do with this Soul Guide Lantern? There's no Uro in the graveyard. Are you supposed to wait here? I guess there's really no reason to wait.
I mean, Ross is beat by things like Nissa. It's not just beating the graveyard. I would have liked to see him go for another card there.
Yeah, I guess also, if you nuke the graveyard now, that means that Uro as a top deck, it can't come back. Because there's no cards in the graveyard to escape, right? So you're not going to catch an Uro or anything like that. So you can just nuke the graveyard and know that if Ari does draw an Uro, it's just going to be, it's going to be game 3, draw a card, blah, blah, blah. But, new card coming seems of interest to me.
Yeah, I would just Soul Guide Lantern and draw a card. And depending on whether or not Rankle's there in the deck, pre or post. Yeah,
because it's not Relic. Oh, Eat to Extinction is an interesting. Yeah, because it's not Relic of Progenitus, of course. It's 1 sacrifice, just draw a card, so it doesn't get to. Your trade. I was a little confusing there, so I apologize. Do you want to exile the graveyard? Or do you want to draw the card? I guess you can make the argument of. You can make the argument both ways, honestly. So here's Eat to Extinction, and this lets. Boy, this is getting tough now because Ross is having some trouble crossing the finish line. So I guess also maybe it behooves Ross to just wait. Because if Ari does draw in Uro, he can respond. Won't be able to catch the Uro.
But it's not even just Uro. Like, let's say you crack the Lantern last turn and just draw, a 2/2. Now you might actually beat Nissa off the top. It's not just can you beat Uro.
Ooh, he played a land already, too.
That's the other card he could have drawn last turn where it makes a huge difference. If he draws Castle, you draw right away. Maybe you find another threat. Now he's 2 turns behind doing that as well.
Yeah. No, that's...
And he doesn't have turns to give because Ari is drawing to a ton of cards that shut the game out if he finds them, and I believe he just did.
This is exactly what you're talking about, too, right? You were obviously mentioning Nissa. There were other cards that Ari could have drawn, but Nissa might be worst-case scenario because not only is this pressure, and it's something that you really can't get off the battlefield now if you're Ross. It's providing pressure, and there's a chance, I will say, that maybe Ari is thinking, I want to activate this but not turn on a land because I don't want there to be something for my opponent to claim. So maybe Ari's thinking about that, but he's going to add mana with the Triome. And this is the thing that's scary, right? Is it's Nissa plus Scry 2, which means you're increasing the card quality of your draw step every time. And as we know with this deck, if it finds the right cards, it's over. And that's a horrible draw too. So, whew. Oh, uh-oh.
Ross knew.
Did he concede? I don't think he conceded.
No, he didn't. There's no way he conceded. He was activating. Yeah. He was right about activating Castle. He's still drawing to it's not impossible to imagine him. If he draws a Kroxa, I think he's in really good shape.
I think he's in really good shape. Yeah.
Art is so low, so it's not. That wasn't like a concession, but.
That would be great if it were, though. Ross is just, I disconnect from Discord. I'm off of it. If we get Ari's side, we will. Obviously, we're in the middle of what's a really, really good game. So this is unfortunate to see this little bit of a disconnection. But hey, this is how we got to bring it to you via Discord streams. All right, we're going to Ari's side now, as best we can. So I don't think that, like you said, it'd be a bad time for Ross to concede. And here's Ari's what's beginning to become a formidable board position. And Ross's life total has dwindled significantly. So, the bones, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Dem bones, everybody. Draw card. What's it gonna be? This is also one of those times where Kroxa isn't good enough. Not anymore.
No.
I don't. There's not enough cards. There's not enough cards in the graveyard. Well, there might be enough cards in the graveyard because we can't get a look. So let's even say that there are 5 cards in the graveyard to escape. Kroxa, trigger, bring Ari down to 1. Ari activates Nissa. 3 attackers into 1 blocker. 6 points of damage. If Ross were to draw, yep. This is also really good. Well, Ari can do this, Heartless Act, blah, 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 in response, but this is still going to untap the land. So hang on. It really depends on how many cards are in the graveyard, right? Because Kroxa is in the graveyard, if memory serves. And so if that was card 5, you get to attack for 3, and then bring it back and trigger and kill the opponent?
Yeah, does the land get the vigilance characteristic from Nissa, or is it just the land has this now?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So it's got vigilance, and then does he have enough cards in the graveyard? That's the only thing that matters now. Is if he got enough cards in the graveyard, game's over. Just don't know. Yeah. Nope. He's short at least 1 card. Short at least 1 card. That's it. Ari Lax is going to win this game and match over Ross Merriam 2-0. Sultai Ramp into the finals. It's been winning like crazy everywhere, and it might be winning another tournament right now. We got a rematch in the finals. Sultai Ramp